not to him the nose guard.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 to the Huddle. I'm Cole Bart.
I'm Irvin Godinez.
And, it's a pleasure to be here. 5 episodes, and now we just kind of want to take some time to reflect on, some of our episodes, some of our favorite moments, what we've learned, and what we want to share with you all. We're here in our new studio. As you can see, we got the Huddle right next to us. Sign goes so hard. Thank you. Shout out Irv's Edits, Irv Godinez. That's my rock. That's my guy. But no, we want to take some time here to kind of reflect on some of our episodes, our favorite memories, moments, and what's to come. This is just getting started. And I want to take a minute just to say thank you. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sharing. Thanks for all the kind words, and thank you for all the stories and for those that reach out asking to be on. We wouldn't be here without you guys, and we wouldn't be able to learn as much as we are without you all. And with that being said, I really want to get going on these reflections, kind of, and these conclusions, and the pros to what we've learned so far through all of our episodes and through all the lovely people that have joined. I'm gonna let Irv take the floor here and get us rolling.
Yeah, man, everything's been awesome. And first, I want to start off by talking about the studio real quick. Cole really wanted to get everything going, and I've been trying my hardest to really push everything out as soon as I could, just to have the guest in locally. It's been a hassle. It's been a lot. But, thank you for coming in and helping me put some of the studio up, some of these panels behind us. And, just even before this episode, you just see me running around everywhere, sweating like crazy, just making sure everything's going. So, like Cole said, we just want to thank all the guests we've had in so far, and, they've had great stories and everything. So, just kind of starting off with the first episode, we noticed that there were some issues in the beginning, at least, with, being too loud. And, we get that. We're trying to stay away from the mic. But, just kind of work with us a little bit, just kind of have a little bit of patience for us. This is our first time doing all this. So we'll get the hang of it soon enough.
Yeah, it sounded like I was drowning in the ocean there for a minute. Gargling water is what I like to say. So I'm kind of trying to sit here so I can show my face, my lovely smile. And, this is going to take time, dude. It's going to take time. And we're going to learn every single.
The beginning, bro. This is
for sure. And what people don't know is that this isn't going to stop. Me and you agreed that this is going to be a day in, day out thing, man. And not just that, but I think that doing this has made our friendship 10 times stronger.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Been playing fort together,
A little bit of fort.
Getting them victory royales for the boys.
Clowning Cole for being a Cowboys fan with the boys.
Hey, shout out Tony Pollard. Shout out Dak Prescott. No. Shout out to my boy Jake Ferg. They're on a tear right now. Go Cowboys, baby, America's team.
Lose first round in the playoffs, but we'll keep going. Our second episode was come on.
It's Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. And
Zach, go ahead.
I want us to take some time here to actually dig deep and give what we learned, and also what you appreciated and what you heard out of that, because I know that not everybody has the time to be able to sit around and listen to all of our episodes all the way through. But if we can share what we learned, maybe they'll learn something through us as well. So,
yeah, I really liked Zach's story. Just right off the bat, I could tell his energy was just really good energy, really high energy, and just someone that would be cool and fun to be around. And, his story was just kind of dealing with the his mental health that he was dealing with during the time, just the tough times he was going through, and still pushing through ball. Because ball's hard, bro. It's, take it from high school to college. Obviously, it's a whole nother level. And, I'm sure there was days when you were playing that maybe there were times where you did not want to be there. So shout out to Zach for pushing through it, dealing with the stuff, and not being afraid to talk about it. Yeah. So I thought his episode was really good. Obviously, I wish that we could have most of those guys into the studio just to kind of feed off that energy. But what did you think about it overall? Because you obviously you know him, so that was my first time getting to know a little bit about him.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I'll start. You said episode 1, and now we're at Zach. Episode 1 was definitely a learning point for me. I didn't realize how much went into, the videography and the production side of our in-person podcasts. But I think I am very appreciative of the studio and all the hard work that you and as well as I have put into this. It's definitely been eye-opening and a blessing. Episode 2, me and Zach go way back. Zach was one of my first buddies at the Berg. He was a year older than me, but he was kind of like my guide a little bit. Him and my good friend Matt Davenport. He graduated my freshman year, but good buddy of mine. Shout out Davy. Shout out Black. But Zach was one of those guys that helped me find a light when I was going through difficult times, and the fact that he stepped on our podcast, talked about his mental health a little bit and how it's real. It's awesome because, you don't see people doing that. Right. You see people getting on there like, yeah, I was an All-American. Yeah, I was a All-Region. I was All-OAC, but.
Yeah, it was nice that he was, he had all these accolades and was really mentioned the tough times he was going through instead of just highlighting the great things he was doing.
Absolutely, and I think it's important because behind every successful athlete, there's another story. There's skeletons in somebody's closet. There's definitely a lot of deeper, hard times than what people see. And it's cool because I was Zach's friend. I got to see that stuff firsthand, and it's a blessing. And one of the very key things that he talks about in that episode that really sticks with me is people being authentic and not really caring what other people think about you. And one thing I can connect that back to is specifically what we're doing right now. Like, there's people behind us, those guys are losers. They're not doing anything with their lives. Nobody's going to watch that. But, at the end of the day, when I take knowledge from somebody else and I'm learning through them, it's amazing because not only are you impacting yourself, but you might be impacting their life somehow. And listening to stories not just makes you more cautious about how you approach others, but also being quick to judge others. And I think it is so important to not care what other people think, because when you care what other people think, Zach says this in the episode, it's only going to wear and tear you. If you care about what you think, then that's what matters. If you can look at yourself in the mirror every morning and be happy with what you're seeing, or you look and you feel better than what you did yesterday, significant. And that was one of my big pullaways. And my there's not really any other pullaways, but Zach had a very, very successful football career, and now he's a real successful car salesman. I get the blessing of having him on the Xbox every night.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh wait, I sold a car today.
That's dope.
But it's like, how does that work? Because you're a car salesman, dude. Like, what's your day-to-day look like? And Zach loves it. He's a real upbeat, interpersonal guy, willing to share anything. And honestly, listening to him talk and being around him, it makes me want to go up to, Kia Medina and buy me a vehicle.
Yeah, shout out Zach, man. He was a great guest, our first guest ever to be on the Huddle podcast. So really, really appreciative of him and for him sharing his story. So let's go ahead and move on to Tremont Wiley's story in his episode. So obviously Trey, you played ball with him.
Yes,
Call
sir.
him what'd you call him? Gramps or Unc?
So long story short, Trey's an older guy, right? I think 26, 27, but I don't know the number. Trey was like that Unc or grandpa on the team, but wise. Went through a lot and saw a lot, and there was a lot of takeaways from that episode. And I guess what did you think about it? And really, what did you take away?
Yeah, the main thing that I really liked was he kind of owned up to where he wanted to fix himself, which was his ego, I guess. He talked about he believed he was higher than everybody else. And he just kind of he told us that he just kind of looked down on everybody since he made it D1, and he says that hurt him in the long run. So I thought it was really great that he was able to not only see that, but to admit that and to be able to tell us on the podcast to where more people are going to see that. And I think that that'll help people who watch that. Hey, maybe I need to slow down, take a look at myself, and just kind of rearrange some of my thoughts going up in my head.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I think that people that are successful in sport are so quick to get that ego, and they let it shine sometimes, man. You see the people, getting a little too frisky in their touchdown sellies, or not just that, but how they talk to individuals that they're competing against their own teammates. Are you a team player really at the end of the day? Or can you not even be approachable because you just think you're higher than everybody? And in that episode, Trey talks about going to Michigan State, making the practice squad, and being able to say that he was a D1 athlete, but also loses himself in the process because of that ego. Gets into drugs, starts selling drugs, gets kicked out of Michigan State. And it's awesome because I got to see some of that too because I played ball with them, but it was a complete 180, When Trey was at Berg, dude, it was all ball, all business, and he was always there for everything.
And I mean, talk about he made it, got kicked out, and then did not stop. Obviously, he kept going with the ball. He wanted to do it his way, and obviously has great accolades from it, and now is playing in the AFL. Is that right?
Yeah, so, I mean, dude, if you think about that, not many people can say that they come back from that. There's a lot of times that, you battle those demons and it just gets worse and worse. Yeah. And you don't take other people's advice, and you don't sit down and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, man, maybe I should get my crap together.
Right.
And Trey did that. He got baptized 2017, I think he said. And not just that, but he came to Heidelberg, was a 3-time captain, and completely changed his life around, 2-time All-American, and then signs to the AFL, and which is a very historic league for anybody that's watching. The AFL, I believe Bon Jovi's a partial owner in that, and I don't know many people that don't know who Bon Jovi is, but yeah, it's big time, dude. And not just that, but Trey is a great human. He talks in the podcast, and it says, humble yourself before the Lord and he will, grant you with these gifts. And I think maybe if you told me that Trey knew that before 2017, that verse, I would tell you you're probably wrong. But he changed his life around, man. And there's definitely a couple terms and quotes that he used in that episode that really have stuck with me, and I've been reflecting on since that episode, and I'm sure you have too. And what terms would you say have kind of stuck in the
I think the main one, the get right before you get left. I think that one I've heard of it before, and I think it's a great just to kind of live by that. You know what I'm saying? Because do the right thing before it really messes you up, or messes you up in the long run, as he says. But man, overall, I mean, his story I thought was awesome, and I was really grateful that he wanted to come on and share some of that deep stuff that maybe some people would not like for it to be out there. But again, thanks to Trey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to him. And one of the big things that stuck out with me about that is when you hear the quote, get right before you get left, there's several different little roads that can go in your head, like, oh, he meant that or this. But what really stuck out to me is so many kids and so many people my age even, they just toss any athletic ability they have away or future they have away and get caught up in things they shouldn't. And, Trey is firsthand example of somebody that completely flipped his life after being somewhere he shouldn't. And, I mean, I think about that personally, and I think what that meant for me was get up every single day and do it. You know what I mean? Get up every single day and do it, because if you aren't trying to progress, then you're stuck. And if you aren't trying to be your best you're stuck. And I think that's how I took it. And then he talked about, I believe in that episode, he mentioned something about getting out of bed in the morning.
Just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Yeah.
He said, I remember it was like, you get up in the morning, you walk to the bathroom, you use the bathroom,
He
brush your teeth.
Yeah, he said you don't get out of bed and just start walking backwards. I thought that was pretty. Yeah,
it's true. You get up, you make your bed, and you keep going. And it's true, man. And I'm a firm believer in that. And it's awesome because as a man of faith, like I am, and I firmly believe in the good Lord, I think that faith and believing in a higher power definitely helped Trey.
yeah.
I think it really, really did. And it's great to be in a position like where we're at.
And he was spreading that too, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when he was playing ball, on the undershirt he would wear, I think in the front it would say "Talk to God," right?
Talk to God.
So
yeah.
I think he's done a great job spreading the word of God, and just trying to keep that positive energy from maybe where back then it was the complete opposite. So again, thanks to Trey. Shout out to Unk, and I'm excited to keep up with your AFL journey.
Yeah, so it's another thing about Trey is like he always wore it was either a Talk to God shirt or it was Call God. He always wore these undershirts, and he made sure that they were like 2 times the size. And the front would say Talk to God, back would say Call God. And there's guys, I believe, at the Berg right now that are wearing that.
Yeah,
and that's
no,
cool,
I love
dude.
that.
Like,
yeah.
And it shows that people follow in your footsteps. There's people that are watching every move that you make. And it is important. Like, nobody's perfect. You're going to fail, but it is important that you always try to be your best. And Trey showed me that. And, dude, I'm blessed to be able to watch people that I am close with, peers, friends, like almost brothers of mine. Like, we went through traumatizing experiences together, and it's good to see them excel and succeed because, Trey in the AFL, I'm definitely going to be keeping up on that.
Yeah.
That is huge. And, Zach, I talk to him almost every single day. He's my guy. Like, I call him like I call you. I'll get off work, but hey, Zach, man, you ready to go play some Minecraft Fortnite? And it's good. I'm blessed, and it's blessed. It's a very comforting and graceful feeling to be able to have those people come on and, be in your life and to hear their story. And not just that, but I get the blessing of introducing Irv to all these wonderful people, man. And it's huge for me. And there's no better feeling than connecting people that might impact the person that you're also close with. So it's great, and very thankful for Trey, very thankful for Zach. And last but not least, we got Teddy Tate on here too, just recently this last week.
Yeah, Teddy. I think he was our first player that turned into a coach. Yep. So I think one of the coolest things that intrigued me to him was the training program he just started. I think he just said it was about a year that it's been going on. So I think it's just really cool that he wants to just keep spreading knowledge and just wanting to make people better. So I think that's one of the coolest things about him that I learned. And just the way that he talked about it, because I think you asked him, what motivates you to teach others? Yeah. And I think what he said was, his upbringing, his family, the thing that he said really touched me. He said, I done seen my family give so much to other people when them themselves didn't have anything. So I think that's really, really important for people to hear and, not be so selfish all the time. So I thought that was a beautiful quote that he threw out.
And it's so crazy because you hear people say this stuff, dude. And you hear people say this stuff and it's like something clicks in your head and you just think of all these different people in your life that give to you that might not have anything themselves. Yeah. And where you've came from personally and how much you want to give back. And Trey, Teddy's episode, so special. And, shout out Teddy. Teddy's one of my boys, TT3. I'm still kind of ashamed that he mentioned how my get off was terrible when it came to being a receiver, dude.
You know what he said? When he said that, the only thing I could imagine was when you took that first step, all I could just imagine you was face planting. I know you're an athlete, bro. Don't get it wrong, but just when he said it, the way he explained it to me, I was like, this dude just ate the floor.
I mean, like you were saying though, like when Teddy said that he saw people give everything they got, so true. But the way I see it is sports, dude. Like they have such an impact. Did you have summer liftings at Riverside?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
there. Yeah,
dude.
day. Yeah.
What time were your summer liftings?
They split them up. They would have some in the morning and some at night. So during the winter, it was right before school. Would be there like an hour or two earlier before school, and then you could go after school as well.
So hear me out. How many days did you not want to show up?
I was there every day.
How many days did you not want to go though? Were you just like, oh my, I don't want to go lifting. Let me just stay on the game. Like there's so many days. Like when I was up in Logan, we had 6 a.m. liftings every single morning. And I woke up every day probably, and I was just like, oh, I gotta go to lifting. Oh, I gotta go to work after lifting. And it was just like, I dreaded it. But now look what it's done for you. You get up every single day, whether you're feeling sick, feeling down, feeling sorry, and you still get up and go and do it.
No, it definitely gets you ready for whatever's after school and whatever's after the sport, because, I mean, it just trains you to be disciplined.
Yes, so disciplined. And when I was up at Heidelberg, we had papers, right? You know, during camp it was 11 o'clock meeting, 1 o'clock meeting, 2 o'clock tape, 3 o'clock practice, 7 o'clock meeting. We were up at 6 during camp and had to be in bed by 11. And it was 7 days a week, dude. 7 days a week. And the big blessing about that, though, is now I wake up. I was never organized, dude. Like, you can ask my mom, my dad. Like, when I got grounded my senior year of high school, because I left macaroni sitting on my nightstand in my bedroom.
Yeah, I ground you too.
And I was the type of kid that, like, you know, I swore when I was little, and my dad would wash my mouth out with soap. And I mean, I would sit there and I'd blow the soap bubbles back in his face, because I was just that kid. I was so like, rebellious. And I look back now though, and I'm very thankful for like the camp structure, the football grind, and you know, I just feel like it's so important that people keep an open mind when they're an athlete, and they refuse to let their sport identify who they are. Because I think that, like Teddy said, do what you love and love what you do. And when you love a sport, you're not going to let a coach dictate whether you quit or you continue. Because it's not the coach that makes the sport, it's you that makes the sport. I mean, so often, I've seen kids that get yelled at by coaches, and they don't swallow it. They bark back.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that type of stuff, I mean, I hate that.
Yes.
I can't express enough. I've seen it before, unfortunately, because, you know, obviously I want all my guys and all my teammates to be on the right path and on the right side. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen that type of talk back before, and it's just, you just hate to see it, especially when I'm super by the rules, by the book. Yep. I want to make everybody happy. I do everything. I'm trying to do everything that I'm supposed to do the right way.
Yeah.
And when I see it go the other way, it's just like, we got to get them right.
But the thing is like, I'm sitting here now, and I could 125% tell you that at one point in my life that I was not coachable. And that was probably like when I was not excelling. Like my freshman year of high school, I was like 265 pounds, like a little bowling ball. But the real thing is I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to stay disciplined, and I didn't want to see myself better. And I look back on that time, and I'm like, dude, David Goggins says carry the boats and the logs. So I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go carry the boats and the logs, God. Okay, and I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna go get right, and get right before I get left.
There you go.
And so it's just like, dude, be coachable. have an open mind. There's so many people, they're coaches for a reason. They're going to know more than you. They will. And that's important to swallow. And for kids that, I mean, obviously teenagers in high school, they got testosterone stuff going on. But put that aside for a minute.
Yeah, I wish I could kind of like, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Teenage kids, all this stuff going on. But I just wish I could be on the side like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not, though. Because, I mean, obviously, we were both there at that one time. And like you said, you were there one time. But I just can't remember the time where I was like, I can't listen to this guy. Or I was always doing it the right way, I guess. And that's a real blessing for me. It's just the way that I was raised. And, man, it's just like, hearing you say that at one point you weren't coachable is really surprising to me, because when I sit back and I look at you and just from the time that we've known each other, I can only see Cole being a good guy, doing things the right way.
And dude, it's so true. Like I wasn't like, I don't know if you know the Allens, but anyways, long story short, I have a best friend, or I had a best friend in high school, and he moved down to Florida. I would go over to his house every single day before basketball practice, basketball games, and that's what I did every time. His dad was our basketball coach in high school. He was our JV basketball coach and varsity assistant, and he would always get on me. Like if he was having a bad day, it was right at me, dude. It was like, I'm going after Cole, and I hated it so bad because there was days where I was just sluggish, and I can admit it. And I remember a time during basketball season, we were running a 3-man weave drill up and down the court, and I missed a pass. And he tells me to get outside and just rips into me. He's like, "You're supposed to be a leader on this team, blah, blah, blah." And I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm trying here. And I went back into practice, and I accidentally dropped another pass. Anyways, he was like, and I don't even remember the context, but it was almost like he was trying to get me to give everything I have. Yeah. And by my senior year, it was funny because during basketball season, I knew, like, we were so close because I was like really close with his son, that he would give me hugs, tell me he loved me. And we'd go to practice the next day, and he'd be yelling at me, face red, bright red, fumes coming out of his ears. And I would laugh, dude, because I was just like, I know what he's trying to do. He wants to see me do my best. And people are so quick to, think a coach doesn't like them, a coach is after them because they're getting yelled at or because it's getting stimulated in a way they don't want it. But at the end of the day, the coach always wants what's best for you and what's best for the team. And there was a time, man, I'm telling you, I just was not coachable. And I look back on those times now, and I'm just like, I think that I was wrong, and I should have. I should have been open to listening and should have been there. As an athlete, you just want to be coachable, and I think that one of my biggest regrets is not being coachable sooner. I think I would have excelled as an athlete, and not just an athlete, a person, a lot more. When you think of a job, even your coach is your manager or supervisor.
Yeah, to those younger athletes that thinking that the coach is going to be the worst thing. Unfortunately, probably there's the next step, which is life, and that just comes with like work.
Yes,
and you're just gonna have these people constantly just telling you what to do. So eventually, you're gonna have to be coachable, because if you're not, you ain't gonna have no job.
I was Christmas shopping last night, and saw a plaque, and I think it was like TJ Maxx or something, and the plaque said, "I'm not bossy, I'm just motivational." Yeah. And it sticks, dude. Like, it's true. Like, you think of a coach giving a pregame speech or telling you how to perfect your craft. Like, it's so true. And I don't know, dude. It's you just got to be coachable. I reflect on those times, when I was a young athlete and didn't really listen, and where my relationships are at now with those coaches versus where they were at then. and they've grown exponentially. They checked on me when I was in college, asked me how it was going. We go out, grab a bite to eat. They asked me to volunteer and help out with coaching. And dude, it's nice. You don't really understand how much something can give you until you have it and you've continued to see it through.
Yeah, I love the way that you just said, people giving you something you don't see at the time, but eventually it's going to help you out in the long run. And I've been blessed enough, like you said, unfortunately at one time you probably weren't coachable. And like I said, I think I've always been the complete opposite where I just need to do things right. And I think maybe it comes to maybe I was always at a disadvantage on being on that court or on that field because of my height. But fortunately enough, I've always worked my butt off and I've always been a starter. And like I said, I've been blessed enough to have great coaches at Riverside, whether it's been for basketball or for football. So I'm just extremely thankful because I just can't look back and say that it was ever the coaches or something like that. And, each one of them always had some sort of great impact on me, and I'm just thankful for those men. And I see it now too with, now I'm not on the field. I'm the guy behind the camera, and I'm always with those kids, with the coaches, and I just want to give a big shout out to Coach Hodge, who's the head football coach to Riverside right now. He does a phenomenal job. One thing that he instills in their head is, I love you. Every single day before they get off that field, he tells them that he loves them. And he's very vocal about, he's very hard on them in the right ways. Yeah. And he's always explaining the fact, I'm this hard on you because I love you, because you guys are so great, you don't even see it yet, but I do. But we just got to keep pushing. I think his message, the way he does things, his attitude is incredible. And maybe if there's any, I don't know of any, I don't want to, because I don't know. But if there's any kid, that maybe is in those shoes right now, to where maybe where you at one point were, he's so hard on me, I don't get why he's like this or that. Stick with it. It's gonna make sense in the end. And bro, be thankful that Coach Hodges is your coach right now. He's an incredible human being. I love that man.
And it's important that those kids see that, because even though those coaches are hard on you, they want you to be your best. And if you're not seeing it now as an athlete being coached by these coaches, you will 100% see it later on when you're an alumni and you're like, hey, you want to come back and practice with the high school basketball team? Or, hey, you want to come and sit down and talk to some of the football guys and, tell them what you see on film. And, dude, you want to form those relationships, I promise you, because those are the type of people that, if you're stuck on an interstate and you don't have anybody that's going to answer, and you call them and you say, hey, can you, help me fix my tire? They'll be there. And I don't know, dude. So those are just my high school coaching days. When I got to college, I was a lot more mature. I knew I wasn't the best at my position. I knew I wasn't the best at my position at the time, but I knew that I was going to do whatever it took. I was undersized. I was undersized. I was an undersized defensive lineman that needed coaching.
Are you undersized, bro? You're 6'3".
Listen.
You tell me you're 6'3". I don't even know.
Do you remember what I looked like in high school? I was.
Oh yeah, when I was in those pictures, yes. I could see the complete difference.
Yeah. So I was 5'11", 215 pounds, soaking wet going into school, and you were going in there, and there's 265-pound defensive ends, 320-pound offensive linemen, and grown men, and you don't want to get beaten up, dude. I would go to practice every day when I was on the scout team, and I would just get snatched every single day. Snatched. And I would go against the All-American guard that we had at the time. His name was Brad Weinhold. Great human being, but he humbled me quick. You ever seen that video where it's don't reach, young blood?
Yeah.
Dude, it wasn't don't reach, it was don't lean. And I leaned so bad. Brad snatched me so hard one night at practice that I got turf toe and was out for 2 weeks.
Now that's tough. But let me ask you this: you're telling that story, but do you think that helped you out a lot in the long run?
Yeah, and I also think that incidents like losing people, it shows you It shows you, and I think that it really shows you cares, and what coaches are going to reach out and want to see you get out of a dark time. And my Heidelberg Coach Donaldson, amazing human being, amazing. That whole staff there is phenomenal. Like, if I was in Tiffin, Ohio, I would be eating lunch with them in their office, talking to them about life. They're not just great human beings, but they also are very insightful and motivational people. And one thing Coach D always would do, kind of similar to Coach Hodge, it was, I love you. I love you guys. I love you gentlemen. I love you guys. And that's what he always said. And we always broke meetings with one term, and it was one team and then one beat.
I love that.
And it's huge, dude. And that's so true, because you don't win ball games if there's and it's because you're in college. There's people from Florida. There's people from Texas. There's people from Michigan, Ohio, all over. People from all these different demographics, families, areas, coming together and trying to do one thing and win. That's win and get your degree. And what Coach D instilled in us was we were a family. And we were successful with it. And not just that, but it formed relationships, like you can see with Teddy Tate, Zach Blackiston, Tremont Wiley, all of my roommates. And it's a special thing. And I think that when I got to college, I really kept that open mind, and I was coachable. And that's the reason why I'm 6'3", a 6'3" behemoth now that needs to hit the treadmill and stop eating the milk and cookies. But, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
One of the things that you've been talking about recently is you regret not taking your 5th year. So I want you to get into that a little bit.
I after graduating, well, before I even graduated, it was kind of like, do I go back and do I play again, or do I get my life started? And it wasn't until fall camp, the day that I was supposed to report for fall camp, or everybody reported, where it really hit me. It was because you always you get on Snapchat, you see stories, and it's like, oh, we're back, and all the media day pictures and all the camaraderie and all the getting togetherness, and you miss that. My senior year, I went back a week early before anybody was there, strictly because I wanted to see my roommate Wally, that was working 3rd shift as an RN, and I got back home, and I obviously missed my family, growing up in a family so big, and I wanted to be involved in their life, but you miss the, suiting up on a Saturday, playing ball with your boys, and not having a worry in the world, going out and having fun after ball games, and just being in the presence of kids your age that know what you're going through. And I miss that, but I've learned that there's more to life. I've developed a strong habit in golfing, lifting weights, hiking, and I've definitely found joy in my family. And going away from your roots to university, and then coming back, it's like a refresh. It's like I remember where I came from, and I enjoy now going out on a Saturday morning and splitting wood with my pops. I enjoy now waking up in the morning, walking into the house and being like, hey, what do you need from me today? I enjoy now picking my brothers up from lifting or helping out at the house. Or, I have a little brother that's obsessed with Prime energy drinks, obsessed with them. My brother, I'll be laying down in bed, or me and Kelly will be watching a movie, and he'll sneak into the house. Or act like he's sneaking in. It's just a little studio like this, and he'll act like he's sneaking in and look left, look right. He'll go into the fridge and take this Prime, and then as soon as you say something to him, he'll hold the Prime up, and he's just starts heavily breathing, like he's super tired from sneaking around, even though you can see him. And it's just you just ask and you can take them, but I'm glad that I have those memories now.
Yeah.
My roommates, when I was in school, would always show up. They would show up at 2:00 in the morning, and they'd come in and they'd shake my bed up when I'm dead asleep, trying to get sleep for football lifting. And they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. We had this foam roller in our hallway that we used after football practice or, leg days. And my roommate Spencer would act like it was like a cannon, and he would just toss it at me while I was sleeping. But that's also something I miss. Like we would get back from going out, and I'd walk into my bedroom, and everything would be flipped backwards sometimes. But we all did it to each other, so it was just like whatever. And I miss that stuff, but it's weird because that makes seeing them when you get the chance to see them that much more special. And some of the guys I played with, I firmly believe that they got tired of seeing me so much. But then when I left college, it was like, man, I wish B-Bar was here. Like, I'm that person in the friend group, and I'm not afraid to admit it, that it's like they're flaming you. It's we're toasting B-Bar, but not because like I can't handle it, because I can, but I take it in a good lighting. I don't get salty about that stuff. And like I said, it's just important that you don't let personal stuff get to you. But I do miss sometimes not going back from my 5th year. But as far as like finances and saving your money and doing the right thing, I definitely am glad I'm home. And if I wouldn't have came home, I wouldn't have been here. And I'm so grateful for the Huddle and, our friendship and what we got going on here and all the stories that we've made. And, coming from that, like coming from a college player perspective, I want to know what it was like for you after you got out of school. After we lost connection in 2019 when I went up to Tiffin, what was it like transitioning from being a high school athlete and high school student to working a full-time job and trying to figure out what you're going to do?
Yeah, so I mean, when I started sports, like I mentioned in the very first episode, I was very young, and at the time I had no idea what sports would be like. Like I told you, I was ignoring the fact that my friend wanted me to play, and I didn't want to do it at all. So I mean, that changed my life forever. And then I think whenever my season-ending injury, my senior year. And throughout all that time, I was an extremely hard worker, whether it was in the weight room or just I guess anything. I don't remember a time where I could have called myself a lazy guy. But, and I mean, where I got that from wasn't just sports. Obviously, it helped me out a lot. But I want to talk a little bit about, my dad because, I mean, to this day, he's working two full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've seen it firsthand, and that helped me out through my athletic career in high school to just be an extremely hard worker because I see him do it every single day. And so obviously after high school, with all the coaching, with my dad just being the great example he is, it's helped so much, man. Because, I mean, there's still really, really hard days where you just don't want to go to work. You miss those days where it was just practice, being around your teammates, your friends. So, I mean, the transition, I want to say it was hard, man. But for me, and where the spot that I was in the whole time because of my dad, because of the coaches I had, it wasn't that hard for me.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, that's who I am. I'm a hard worker. And again, even when I stopped playing sports, I had this to keep me busy. This is, I ever since I stopped playing sports, I've stayed working hard on the outside stuff. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm just very thankful for the people that I've had around me, that made the transition a little bit easier. So again, I'm just super thankful for everything. So I do want to switch it up real quick. So Cole and I have been working hard to make all this stuff possible. And again, you guys don't see it. So many lights, so many cameras, so many cords, so many everything going on behind the scenes. And maybe some people don't see it, whether it's from the content or something like that, or they're just not keeping up. We do appreciate everybody that has been keeping up with us, liking the stuff, sharing the stuff. It does not go unnoticed. And those people, big thank you. Hopefully down the road we can take care of you guys. But Cole has mentioned a few things to me where he's been wanting to make merch and stuff like that. We'll get to that eventually, but right now I do have a surprise for you, Cole. I have 2 packages for you. One package has got 2 things in it, and then one's got 1 in it. So I just want you to take a look at this stuff, and you tell me what you think, but I have 2 surprises for you, okay?
Yes.
All right, so let me just go grab it real quick.
Dude, even your packaging's on this? That's hard.
Yeah?
That's hard.
Now open it, bro. Quit playing.
All right, sorry. I'm actually very hyped about. Dude.
So that's just a simple design. We can talk later, but that's just kind of what I got for you.
Yeah. Dude, that's fire. That is awesome. Yes, abso-freaking-lutely, man. Is there more in this?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude.
So I just kind of based it off our colors a little bit.
That is awesome, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. I have been talking to Irv about getting some merch going, and yeah, that's some merch right there. Check this out.
I definitely want to take care of some of those guys that have been sharing our stuff. So, we'll talk a little later about that.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Like I said, again, we can talk a little bit later about what we want to really push out there. But I thought this would be a start.
That is a start, man.
So, right now, I got something a little bit bigger, maybe. So, go ahead and close your eyes again while I pull this out.
This is not happening, bro. This is awesome.
And it ain't Christmas yet, though, huh? Hold on, let me show the camera. All right. Hold your hands out, but don't look, bro. All right, both of them. All right, don't look. All right, I'll tell you when to look. Don't look.
All
right. Go ahead and look.
Dude.
I want you to open it up, though.
Dude.
No, rip it. Oh, my God, it had a zipper on it. Go ahead and rip it, bro. You already done ruined it. Go ahead.
Oh. Dude. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Take a look. Open it up.
Oh. Bro.
Show the camera.
No shot.
We got the name on the back and everything.
Yeah. So, Irv, I know that you mentioned something along the lines of, putting a poll out there at the end of all of our episodes for the year.
And I was hoping that where you would take it, so perfect.
And that my friend,
yeah,
that's fire.
Yeah.
That is something, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
dude.
I got you, bro.
And just to be able to do this with you is special, bro. And I really want you to know that. And I feel like the impact that we're gonna make on the people around here and far from here, it could be exponential. And I mean, we're just 2 small town kids, man. Just trying to do something and help kids, get by and find a light. And dude, that means more to me than you know.
Yeah, bro, I got you, man.
And this is a very serious thing for me and you, and I fully intend for this to take off for us, and hopefully one day I can look back at that uniform and be like, dude, that's where it started, man. I mean, you see, I don't know. One thing with this podcast, dude, is you see these episodes, you see other podcasts, but in what podcast do you see people that are giving their testimony and how, football has gotten them through tough spots, gotten them through, waking up late or quitting on something. It's huge what we're doing here, and it's a blessing to, have this and do this with you. And that, showing me that right there, that made my night, bro.
Yeah.
That made my weekend. And honestly, I might need to get that framed. You know what? That's the attire for next studio episode right there.
Oh, I got you. So, again, one of the reasons that I've been kind of pushing everything back was studio's not ready. I've been hearing you, bro. I promise you, I've been hearing you. I know you've been wanting to push everything out as soon as we can, but I wanted to surprise you with this, and that this took a little bit of time to get
for
here,
sure, dude.
obviously. And again, I just want to do everything the right way and just get everything ready. I've been just trying to surprise you with all this stuff, just because I know how much this means to you. And again, like I told you, this was already in my head, pre-planned before we even started doing this. So again, I'm thankful that we're doing this now. And like you were talking about before, I want to get into a little bit. We thought about doing a guest of the year award, and hopefully that award can include with like a custom jersey like this and some sort of trophy. Just a little bit of fun that we can have with the people that listen to us. And just kind of get back to those as well. But we'll talk about it more later down the road once we get to that time. But I'm excited where this is gonna take us, bro, and I can't wait to really push the brand out,
Let's go.
push the word out about us, but also what we're trying to spread out.
I mean, I keep telling, like we keep saying it over and over again. This is just the start, and it truly, really is. I cannot express this enough. It is a blessing to be here. So much love, positivity, and words of grace coming around from everybody. And without that, this wouldn't be possible. Without the Lord above showing us a good light and a good platform to spread our testimonies, spread our courage, spread our wisdom. And I mean, between staying true to yourself and not caring what everybody else thinks, to getting right before you get left, to being that light, and through all these different testimonies and all these different phrases, terms, words, stories, I am just so grateful. I go to bed at night and I can say that I'm blessed, and I can say that tomorrow I'm probably going to wake up more blessed than I did yesterday. Every day you're on this earth is a blessing. It's a blessing in its own. Don't ever take that for granted, and continue to try to be the best version of you. And that's what we're doing. And dude, look at us. Dude, look at us. This is great for us, and this is great for what we're doing. And can't express how blessed I am. This is just the beginning, and I really, really hope that people stay tuned. Reach out if they feel like they have a good story to share. And I can't wait to get some more people in the studio.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about the studio. Again, like I said, I just wanted to get everything right before we invited people into our home.
Absolutely.
And I'm just ready to, kind of like what you talked about earlier, where it's like, these people, you're excited for them to meet me and meet them. And I just kind of hope it's vice versa with whoever I bring in to the studio as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm excited, bro, and I'm happy you're the one that's by my side doing
For sure.
this.
The only last thing that I can say is that you guys, anybody that's out there listening to this that might be in the studio, better be ready for a challenge, whether it's a hot chip challenge, whether it's a, testing out mysterious random foods from Walmart or etc. Just be ready. Just be ready and keep your mind open. This is going to be a great time, and I just hope that you hop on the train, you enjoy, and that we can do something for your life and bring a little light to it and maybe a couple laughs. We appreciate you, and there's going to be a lot of stuff dropping here soon, so stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay safe.
Join us in the huddle.
Join us in the huddle.
Come on.